which is ZIZ online, or via Facebook at ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, and we're also being carried live on TV. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. When we open the phone lines later, you can call us at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. You can call and lend your voice to the conversation at hand. Welcome to The Edge for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. Let's get into our conversation for today with me providing an update on Hurricane Beryl and how it has been impacting the Caribbean region. I know most of you have seen footage over the last couple hours from yesterday and Monday on how Hurricane Beryl has caused widespread damage and devastation in the Windward Islands. As it is right now, well, about 2 hours ago, Beryl will likely bring devastating impacts to Jamaica on Wednesday. It's then a danger to the Cayman Islands and Mexico's peninsula this week. It's also a threat to the western Gulf Coast from Texas to Mexico early next week. Hurricane Beryl became the earliest Atlantic Category 5 overnight after hammering the Windward Islands on Monday. Hurricane Beryl is nearing a potentially devastating strike on Jamaica and will then go on to hammer the Cayman Islands and the peninsula from the Yucatan Peninsula before facing an uncertain future in the Gulf of Mexico that could include impacts on eastern Mexico and Texas. Its current status at about 9 a.m. today, Beryl's eye wall continues to move quickly west-northwest in the northern Caribbean Sea at Category 4 intensity, quickly approaching Jamaica. On Beryl's eastern flank, bands of heavy rain continue to wrap into parts of Haiti, which could result in flooding and mudslides. Here's where warnings and watches are in effect. A hurricane warning has been issued for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. A hurricane watch has been issued for the eastern coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, including the Costa Maya, Tulum, Cozumel, and Cancun. To the south, a tropical storm watch has been issued as far as south as Belize City in Belize. Areas under hurricane warnings should rush preparations to completion. Areas under hurricane watches should make sure their hurricane plans are ready to go. Here's what to expect next from Beryl across the Caribbean. Beryl will take a west-northwest track in the Caribbean Sea through the rest of this week. Although the hurricane will eventually lose some intensity because of increasingly hostile wind shear, it will still pose a considerable danger. This is the latest on Hurricane Beryl and how it has been impacting the Caribbean region. As I mentioned, we saw some footage coming out of the Windward Islands where Beryl has caused some serious damage to those islands. Let me share how it has damaged Carriacou. Beryl leaves a trail of devastation. St. Kitts and Nevis has joined other countries in the region to send much needed assistance and relief to Carriacou, to Grenada, and those islands that have been affected by Beryl. And I read that we have sent some tarpaulins, we've sent some water. Other countries have also been providing their assistance, mobilizing their coast guards and their emergency management agencies to ensure that the islands affected by Beryl get the assistance that they so need. The National Emergency Management Agency here in St. Kitts met with the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of National Security, and that also included, NEMA and the National Security officials and the Prime Minister, and it discussed the impact Beryl is having on, or had rather, on member states that are part of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. So we shipped tarpaulins and bottled water to countries, hurricane-impacted countries in the Windward Islands, and the donation was coordinated by NEMA here on St. Kitts. And you can check out the footage of this via the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service Facebook page, where they have footage of the tarpaulin and bottled water being transported there. And as I mentioned, other countries have also been assisting Carrico. This should have been a week of celebration in the Caribbean country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The annual Vinci Mass Carnival, which attracts thousands of tourists, had advertised a packed schedule of costume parades and soca competitions. Instead, the Vincentian population is reeling from what the country's Prime Minister has described as the utter devastation wrought by Hurricane Beryl, which ravaged the multi-island country and its eastern Caribbean neighbor, Grenada. Images and videos shared on social media showed scenes in SVG in Grenada, flattened houses, damaged police stations, schools and hospitals, streets strewn with the remnants of mangled and dismantled roofs, and towering swells rushing into roads and properties. They told a powerful story of panic, fear, and anguish. At least 4 people have died during the hurricane, which is barreling towards Jamaica, having reached Category 5 status. I think it has since downgraded to a Category 4 status. On Facebook, among the prayers, regional camaraderie, and global messages of support, there are desperate pleas for help and information about missing loved ones. Several messages begged for information about family members on the SVG islands of Union Island and Meru, which, along with the Canadian islands of Carrico and Petite Martinique, are thought to be among the worst affected. One distraught mother wrote, quote, "My daughter is in a house in Canawan. Her roof is blowing off and she is pregnant. Please send help. She's alone. Please send help." These are some of the pleas and cries for help that are coming out of the countries that have been affected by Hurricane Beryl. It's 10 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour, and you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation for today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Throughout the Caribbean, we boast a diverse abundance of flora and fauna that adorn our countries. This diversity follows through to our people, communities, and families.
As a doctor, I treat my patients with respect and understanding, without stigma or discrimination, no matter their sexual orientation, practice, or belief. Remember, everybody deserves a fair treatment.
As a mother and healthcare professional, I believe all Caribbean children should be safe, happy, and healthy. Let us create a safe, supportive environment for all Caribbean children to thrive.
Let us treat our LGBTQ+ family members with love and respect. Strong families create a stronger Caribbean. This message is brought to you by the Eastern Caribbean Alliance for Diversity and Equality, ECAID.
Hello and welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne, Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. If you may have tuned in late, I shared some quick updates on the status of Hurricane Beryl, where it is now its forecast, and how it has impacted countries in the Windward, and how St. Kitts and Nevis and other Caribbean countries have since offered much needed assistance to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada and the islands that surround them. We in St. Kitts and Nevis have sent tarpaulins and bottled water, and I believe other countries have done same, in addition to sending food, and other much needed items that that have been displaced. Hurricane Beryl has wreaked havoc in those countries. I mentioned here on Monday that this is the hurricane season, and so it is expected that we are going to get hurricanes. NEMA and the Caribbean Disaster Management Agency, SEDIMA, continue to urge our Caribbean people to be prepared, to ensure that they have the necessary plans and measures in place in the event of a storm, a very powerful storm or a hurricane, and not for you to wait until the very last minute to do rush preparation. It is best for you to prepare now, so that if and when the hurricane impacts you and your household, you are prepared. Yes, it may be a case you prepare and you still get some damage, but at least you are prepared and you have things in place in terms of a contingency plan or an emergency plan, because you prepared. Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of those countries that have been impacted by Hurricane Beryl, and we trust and hope that they are able to recover quickly and smoothly. But looking at the devastation there, it's going to take some time for people to rebuild. I said on Monday that when I was in Grenada in 2017, we did somewhat of an island tour, because we were heading in the countryside of Grenada to the chocolate factory there. And we saw where people were still rebuilding after Hurricane Ivan. I think it was in 2004. People were still rebuilding. Some people did not even get to put up their walls as yet. They just had the foundation there. And a lot of the homes there were new, because they were destroyed by Hurricane Ivan in 2004. And so people are still rebuilding. And to see now this has happened to Carriacou, which is there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and near to Grenada, it is really, really sad, really devastating. So I can only imagine for those who were still rebuilding and have since been impacted, it must be really hard on them. In St. Kitts and Nevis, we have not really experienced hurricane for quite some time, but it does not mean that we should become complacent. It does not mean that we should say, well, nothing is going to happen because nothing happened last year. We must prepare, because you do not know the trajectory of these storms. So sometimes they give you a trajectory and say, well, they're going to end up in this particular region, and they could completely shift and go elsewhere and wreak havoc. The storms are getting stronger and stronger because of the harsh effects of climate change. And it is a pity that the Caribbean has to deal with the full force and the brunt of climate change and the harsh impacts of climate change when we don't contribute much to the changing of the climate. and the world getting hotter and hotter, the atmosphere getting hotter and hotter. It is those larger countries that contribute significantly to global warming. But as small island developing states that don't contribute much, we have to face the brunt of it, because the hurricanes must pass through the Caribbean to get to the U.S. mainland and other parts of the world. They must pass through the Caribbean. And so we have to do what is necessary to prepare for these storms. We have to build stronger. We have to ensure that our contractors and people who we have entrusted to build our homes and our schools and our hospitals and our other facilities are not shortcutting us by, not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then we deal with the after effects of that. And so that is why I know here in St. Kitts, they have been really pushing and taking very seriously building codes, that your structure must be of a certain standard because of the storms and how stronger that they are becoming. And so they want to ensure that when you build and there is a category 3, a category 4 or 5, your home could still stand, or your home could stand during this storm. But when you want to build cheap and you want to save money, then you deal with the consequences of that. And so building codes are really important, and we want the department or the ministry responsible for that to take it very seriously and not to give anybody a slap on the wrist when they try to cheat and steal from people when they have been entrusted to build for them. Because again, you're not just building for them, you're building to prepare for the hurricane season, because we get hurricanes every single year. So this is something we must take very seriously. If I could shift the conversation a little bit, the Prime Minister at his roundtable discussion on the 2nd of July, which would have been on Tuesday, spoke about wealth building and social support initiatives that have been offered here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Dr. Joe emphasized the importance of building wealth, and he highlighted the efforts that have been made to enhance the economic well-being of our citizens. On Monday, I spoke briefly on the Poverty Alleviation Program, the PAP program, the social assistance programs. That has been a topic of discussion for quite some time now, especially via social media, where people have been giving their take on these social assistance programs. And I made the comment that social assistance programs are absolutely necessary. You need social assistance program because there are people who will need the assistance, whether it be to purchase food, whether it be to provide for their children, whether it be to pay bills, you name it, whether it be for medical needs. The social assistance programs are absolutely necessary. What makes it a hot topic is when people seek to abuse the system. Social assistance is for people who need it. But we can't have people abusing the system, because then you are shortcutting people who actually need the assistance. And so you may have a case where somebody needs the assistance, they need it to whether purchase food for their children or pay a bill or something. But because there are so many other people who are on it and do not need to be on it, that person has been denied the opportunity to benefit from that social assistance program. And we have a mentality, unfortunately, that, when you're accustomed to giving somebody something for free, and all of a sudden you stop giving them, then you're going to have a problem. Should not be the case, but you're going to have a problem. I know with the social assistance programs we have here in St. Kitts and Nevis, it is a case where the officials do some sort of evaluation, or what they call case management. And the primary intention, or the intention of the case management, is to look at your present situation And if after looking at your situation, they have determined that you are no longer in need of this program, then they're going to take you off of the program and add somebody else to it. Now, I do not support anybody taking off anyone out of the program if they need it. But if you don't need the assistance and there are other people who could get it, if you have been abusing the program and there are other people who should benefit, then you ought to be taken off of the program. Social assistance is not a way of saying thank you, or not a way of saying, hey, look, a little money here to go and buy a Coke. No. Social assistance is for people who need it and to assist with whether it be medical needs, health care, buying food, paying bills, sending your children to school, such as uniform. They have the uniform assistance programs. That is what the social assistance programs are for. Not for us to abuse and misuse, and then we wonder why the economy is not moving, because all of these programs depend on the economy. All of these programs depend on the economy and depend on us paying our taxes, because if we don't pay our taxes, then we can't enjoy these very, what I would say, are lucrative programs, these social programs. We can't enjoy them. These programs are funded by the state. Taxes. The phone lines are open at 11:23, and we take your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Call us and lend your voice to the conversation at hand. How do you feel about the social assistance programs? And lately there has been a major topic about these programs and whether they should be offered and whether they should be done away with, and who are the people who should qualify for being on this program, and some ought not to be on it and some ought to be on it. The conversation has been really interesting, and we'll take our first call for this morning. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Okay, we lost that one. Let's hit this other call. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning. No, I'm not hearing any of those calls. The phone lines remain open. Call us at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Call us and lend your voice to the conversation at hand. We will take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation for today. Please continue to try to call us so that we can facilitate your calls. Let's take this break. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard about the water shortage in our area?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I've been trying to conserve water as much as possible.
Me too. I've started taking shorter showers and turning off the faucet when I brush my teeth.
Well, that's great. Another way to save water is to fix any leaks in your house.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How much water can a leak waste?
A small leak can waste up to 20 gallons of water daily, which can really add up over time.
Wow, that's a lot. And have to check for any leaks in my house.
But another good tip is to only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they are full, to save water and energy.
I'll keep that in mind. It's important that we all do our part to conserve water, especially during this shortage.
Absolutely. Every drop counts.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. Learn more at water.gov.can.
Hello, welcome back to The Edge and ZIZ Radio. We'll take our call for this morning. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
Missing in action yesterday.
Yeah, I wasn't here yesterday.
Anyway, what I want to say, where I am living in McKnight, right? We have a lot of dirty lands and big trees like kinip and mango. They need to, somebody, minister need to come now, send somebody then and come and chop down some of these because they tree them long right up. And if the weather and the wind and the rain had to make them tree fall because they ain't in the road out. It's people's house. They're going to fall on. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm. Could you share some of the areas exactly where they are so we could know where they are?
Sure. It have a street by Chinese shop. You come down and you go through the alley by the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some other dirty lands by themselves, all in Westbourne, Gut and so. Why I said that? Because we don't know how bad the weather will be. And if the weather ain't bad, but you have plenty rain, the garbage will run in the street. And the ministers, they must know that if they put themselves there, if people put them, and when people talk, they must listen. Some people come from music festival and they want to know if Macno is still so dirty. Please come and watch the tree. It's a dangerous tree. You come by the Chinese shop and you go through by the left. Or you could come down the other street by a water pipe and go through. Easy dear. If one set of minister not do it, you come and do it. Please. Otherwise, people, load of garbage and all kind of thing, going to blow it in the road. People know. But why people know and people don't talk? One person must talk, and the ministers, them know everything. See you.
All right, thank you for your contribution to the program. The phone lines remain open and we take your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Thank you for sharing that with us in terms of areas in McKnight and generally, I would say, in Bastia that need to be cleaned. This is the hurricane season, and you don't want a case where trees are falling and people are falling on homes or falling on vehicles and then becoming very hazardous. And so I'm not sure if this is a notice for Skellig or if it is a notice for Ministry of Agriculture. I don't know, but I trust that the people who this message was intended for got the information. So you can check out the areas that the caller mentioned to see what needs to be cleaned. It's 11:30. The phone lines are open and we take your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Call us and lend your voice to the conversation at hand. Now, when the Prime Minister spoke at his roundtable on Tuesday, he also went commenting on wealth building and the wealth building and social support initiatives. As I said, he made mention of the increase in wages and salaries. There was a salary increase for public sector workers. They are currently working out the pension plan for government auxiliary employees, GAE employees. They're looking at social security reforms and launching the Children's Finance and Education Program set to begin in September 2024. And that program is geared towards preparing your child for his or her future. Preparing your child for his or her future. And so when they get to a certain age, they could look and say, okay, we have some investments here, we have some dividend here, we have some money saved here, because the foundation was laid and we were able to build on that foundation. And one may not know how beneficial that savings might be for that child. It may be used to go after further their education, or it may be used to do something else, whether it is to build their dream home, purchase a piece of the rock, buy their dream car. But at least they have it there. They have it there, you know, to do, well, not to spend recklessly, but to make more investments. It's 11:32. If you have no calls, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation here on The Edge. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's meet at Mem's Pizzeria at Prospect this Thursday, July 4th for the TDC Senior Kaiso Eliminations. The event starts at 8 p.m. with amazing performances by 22 talented Kaiso competitors such as This and That, Nutsy, Badman Pola, The Undertaker, Sabu, Murray, Invincible, Empress Lyric, Kido, Daddy Fresh Cole, Baker, Popo Wheeler, Suki, Westside, Astro, Naki, Sweeties, Mighty J, Lady Smooth, Lady Destiny, and Giro as they compete for a spot in the TDC Senior Kaiso semifinals. Also, make sure not to miss the special guest performance from the reigning monarch, King Hollywood. The night will be accompanied by the Culturama All-Star Kaiso Band alongside the Chorus Angels. The competition will be presided over by Rudy, the Water Rush Boss. Admission only $20, making it an affordable evening of delicious food, refreshing drinks, and fantastic Kaiso performances. It's gonna be a night to remember. See you there.
Hello and welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne, Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. It is 11:34. We're going to wrap up the program early today in preparation for the midday newscast, and we're doing so because of a technical issue that we are working on sorting out. And so to ensure that there is no delay with the news, I'm going to wrap up early to give them that opportunity to get enough time to have things sorted. Let me use this platform to congratulate the Miss Kari Gonzalez on becoming the 2024-2025 Youth Junior Minister of Tourism, or Junior Minister of Tourism for St. Kitts. Congratulations to you, Miss Gonzalez, and she will go off to represent the island in the Cayman Islands in September this year at the Regional Tourism Youth Congress. That takes place in the Cayman Islands as part of conferences and seminars that are being held and organized by the Caribbean Tourism Organization. The Tourism Youth Congress is an opportunity for young people ages, I think it's 14 to 17, to come together and mirror Caribbean ministers and commissioners of tourism that are having a conversation on Caribbean tourism-related matters and how to further tourism in the Caribbean region, how to enhance the sector, what we should be looking at for this year, what we did not look at last year, or what we did last year, and what we could improve upon this year. And so congratulations to you, Ms. Kari Gonzalez, on being named the Junior Minister of Tourism for St. Kitts, and I wish you the very best as you go out to represent the island in this competition. I wish you the very best. You will be competing against other junior ministers of tourism. You'll be competing against other junior ministers of tourism, as well as Nevis. I was the winner in 2017 to 2018. The competition was held there at NEPAC. I won the competition, and I went on to represent the island of Nevis in that same year, October, and that was in Grenada. And so I got the opportunity to visit Grenada and explore Grenada and see what Grenada has to offer. But the competition is a good one, and it exposes young people to more knowledge about tourism. And tourism being the bread and butter of the Caribbean, where a large number of our people work in the tourism and hospitality industry. It only makes sense for our young people to be knowledgeable of what is happening in the tourism space and basically how they could add to that. And so this Tourism Youth Congress, it is something that I give my full support. Of course, I am biased because I was one of the participants, but I believe it is something that is really good. It is a great investment, and it is giving not just the participants, their peers as well, the opportunity to learn more about tourism in the Caribbean and how tourism contributes significantly towards the economic and social development of the Caribbean region. So again, congratulations to you, Ms. Gonzalez, and I wish you the very best as you go off to compete in the regional competition. As I mentioned, Nevis has its own junior minister of tourism, and they too will be going off to compete, and everybody will want to bring back home that title of being the Caribbean junior minister of tourism. The thing is, only one person could get that title, and you have to work really hard for it. The two-segment competition features a mystery topic where the participants pull random questions out of a box, tourism-related questions that is. They pull the questions out of a box and they answer that question right there, in that moment. And it, as I said, it is related to Caribbean tourism. And the other segment of the competition is a 3-minute speech presentation presentation where you get time to work on this topic, research on the topic, and then you present it in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes. And that is how you are judged. It is not really a debate, but it is more so a discussion. It's not a debate, but it is a discussion that mirrors Caribbean tourism ministers or commissioners of tourism basically meeting. When they have the CARICOM heads meeting, they meet and they discuss ideas and see how best they could pursue these ideas, the ideas that we discuss here in St. Kitts and Nevis that could possibly work in Antigua and Barbuda. And so that is the whole idea of that program. So again, congratulations to you. I'm really excited about these things, when young people are given the opportunity to shine and to do wonderful things here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So again, congratulations and the very best. And congratulations to the person from Nevis as well. Me being a former junior minister of tourism for Nevis, of course, I will be rooting for Nevis, but of course I'm rooting for St. Kitts as well, and we expect great things. We absolutely expect great things. Miss Gonzalez, her presentation was really splendid. It was excellent, really excellent. And the use of technology. This is 2024, and we know that a lot of people are now moving in that direction to utilize technology in almost every space or in every facet of life. And so now everything is via technology. And technology, of course, we know has its pros and cons But in this case, you are able to do so much more and so much faster when you have access to technology, and technology that is trusted and technology that is good. And so in their presentation, they maximized the use of technology, and I think that is what was able to capture the attention of the judges, and really told the judges, hey, I am bringing something different to the table. So again, congratulations. You're listening to The Edge and ZIZ Radio. The phone lines are open. I think we had some difficulty with the phone lines earlier, but they are open, and we'll take your calls at 465-2555. We perhaps could take 2 more calls if we have time. I say that because we're going to have to wrap up very shortly at about 11:44. Now, before I close the conversation for today, just to do a bit of a recap in terms of Hurricane Beryl and where it is now and what it has been doing. So Beryl will likely bring devastating impacts to Jamaica on Wednesday. It will then strike the Cayman Islands, then Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. It's also a threat to the western Gulf Coast from Texas to Mexico early next week. And Hurricane Beryl became the earliest Atlantic Category 5 overnight after hammering the Windward Islands Monday. Those in Jamaica should have their preparations completed and be in safe shelter until the hurricane passes. Areas under hurricane warnings from the Cayman Islands to Mexico's peninsula should rush preparations to completion. And again, let us not take these things for granted. Let's not do that. I'm out of time, so until next time, you guys stay safe and continue to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Don't drink and drive, don't text and drive. I'll see you tomorrow. We may not have a program on Friday because the National Assembly meets on Friday. So see you guys tomorrow. You guys take care. Have a good one. Enjoy your lunch. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Bye-bye.